Straight Talk with your host Reggie B. Come on, let's all join in. Free your voice, it's your choice, alright here. Oh, simply straight talk.
Reggie.
Hey, what's up?
Reggie.
Angelique. What's up? And why do you keep repeating my name?
Dumbass.
Oh, so now I'm a dumbass. Where is all this coming from?
Well, as if you don't know, please, tell me why you left Peaches at the festival with no way to get home?
Seriously? I thought you would be on my side. Anyway, how did you find out about all that?
Really? So you're just going to ask a question after I asked you a question? But if you must know, I was in the middle of a romantic evening with my man when she called me crying.
And you answered the phone? And you calling me dumb?
I didn't answer the phone, stupid. My man did. I was expecting a call from Melissa. Hold on. Wait a minute. Why am I even explaining any of this to you? Answer the damn question.
Fine. We were having fun until she told me about her mixed emotions about, pretty much our relationship, especially with me. So she wants someone that's going to give her the glamorous life to where she doesn't have to worry about money and she has influence. He has influence and status, but we could be friends with benefits for now.
Oh, please, dude, seriously, come on. You had to see the warning signs with her long before last night, my friend.
Well, maybe I was just blind because of my desire to be a good man and a faithful one, which I guess people don't know what that means these days.
No. You were blind because you got caught up in the bedroom and not reality.
Oh my gosh, that hurt. That really, really hurt. Where is the love? Where is the support?
You're so right. Allow me to show you some support and also be an inspiration to you.
You see? Now that's better.
Shut up! Stop interrupting me during my supportive moment.
Okay, fine.
I said hush it. Okay, now, as I was saying, before I was so rudely interrupted, today we have more adults who are really living their life with the mindset of a little boy or a little girl, in your case. So many men and women have forgotten or simply refused to improve their life through self-improvement or maturity in adulthood. Just like Peaches and you. Perfect example, if I say so myself.
All right, hold up. I was with you, but what do you mean perfect example? That we're the perfect example?
Your friend is a little girl, not a woman. Little girls look for pretty things that have no real value. You are a man, but you lowered yourself to that of a little boy when you just left her stranded at the festival because your feelings got hurt. Real men accept a loss and use it as a way of growing stronger instead of having a tantrum, Reggie.
Well, real men don't ruin a romantic evening by answering the phone either.
I'm sorry, no. What did you say? Speak up.
I'm not scared to speak my mind. I said real men show love to the woman by being mindful of her time, even in quality time moments. Like your man.
Whatever you mumbled, dude, I know that was not it.
Anyway, I appreciate you always keeping it 100 with me.
Well, I've got nothing but love for my people, okay? Oh, hey, do you have $10? I left my purse at the house.
Sure. My wallet on the counter behind you. Help yourself.
Thank you. Oh, looky. Somebody has some big money. There's at least like $700 in here.
Oh, yeah. That's just spending money. Business has been good lately.
Well, thank you, and here you go.
No problem. Hold on. I thought you said $10.
Oh, no, I did. But seeing as you're becoming a man now, and a man pays his bills, like the cost of dinner, wine, gas, and emotional loss that occurred when your little misadventure ruined me and my man's evening. So, I figure, $690 is a fair compensation. Yeah? Okay. We'll call you later. Bye-bye.
Angelique. Wait.
Bye-bye, bro, man.
Hey, Simply Straight Talk family. Welcome to the Simply Straight Talk Show, where every topic is a hot topic and hot topics are all about that real talk. Now here's your host, Reggie.
Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Simply Straight Talk Show. This is your host, Reggie Maddox. Man, I hope y'all enjoying the episodes this season. We're going to try to keep the great topics coming. But listen, today we want to talk about little boys and little girls running the world. Now, I'm not talking about children. I'm talking about adults, grown folks who's supposed to be mature people running this world. And not just in our government. I want to talk about in our homes and relationships. But we got to look at, why is this taking place? Why are we in a position to where we have what is supposed to be adults, grown people with little boys and little girl mentality? I mean, we need to understand this, because if we don't figure this out and start to make an adjustment to this trend, we're going to be headed to a really bad place, worse than where we are now. I know that may be hard to believe, but it's facts. It's straight up facts. Listen, we see it every day. You see it every day. This is the world we living in. We got a president. Okay, now this is not going to be a political, but it's very relevant to the mindset of the leadership of what is supposed to be an adult, mature position. You know, we got a president that's like to name call. You know, he can't handle real situations. He can't handle legitimate, intelligent debates. So he resorts to name calling. That's how he try to win over people, by being the biggest bully in the schoolyard. We got the same thing with our senators and our congressmen. You know what I'm saying? We are in a world today where little boys and little girls are running the world. Even when we get into the corporate world, we got little boys and little girls who are managers, CEOs, vice presidents. You know what I'm saying? We have these people who are little boys and little girls who can't separate business from personal. You know, they see somebody, they don't like you. That person don't kiss up to them. That person comes to work, do their job, and just want to go home, give me my check when it's time to pay me. But because they're working for a little boy or a little girl who's playing an adult role, you know, they want to pick at them. They want to do things to make their job hard. You know, instead of just saying, listen, we don't have to be the best of friends. But the fact is, when you come in here, you're doing what you're supposed to do. Your morals and ethics and work habits are cool. I'm going to leave you be until you mess up on the job. Personally, I don't have to be involved in all that. But here we are again, little boys and little girls running the world. Now, let's take it to another level. Let's drop it down a little bit more. Because when we talk about little boys and little girls, we always got to get into the relationship factor. And this is across the board. I'm not talking about no specific race. I'm not talking about no specific gender. But I'm talking about across the board, little boys, little girls. That's who are getting into relationships now. When I say a little boy trying to get into a relationship, a little boy has the mentality of, you know what? It's all about the cars. It's all about the money. You know what I'm saying? It's all about how many girls I can get. It's not about the commitment. It's not about building anything. It's a little boy want to be bigger, but want to be in a child's mentality. You know how a child is? A child just want to get outside and play. They don't care about any consequences. They want what they want because it's fun to them. And that's how they see life, as just fun, because they don't understand. And, you know, they're not trying to get into the accountability, the resources. They're not trying to get into the responsibilities. You know, they're not trying to mature. See, a little boy is looking at the world and saying, I want this woman. I want that woman. How much money can I show off? How much money can I show off? How can I impress this person? How can I have the biggest friends? How can I be the biggest bully? How can everybody like me? Because that's what's important. That's what's important. Who likes me? How many people like me? How much money I got? But see, a man is different. A man looks at the world in a different perspective. A man looks at the world and says, what can I do to build and better myself and my life? What can I do to build and better my family? What can I do to build a legacy, something to pass down to my kids? What can I do to educate and teach my kids? What can I do to make sure that my wife is happy, my wife is okay? What can I do to make sure that my wife is safe, my kids are safe? A man always considers before he goes to bed, is the doors locked? Is the house okay? Did my kids do their homework? Is everybody eating? Is everybody good? Is everybody comfortable? All right? I'm going to make my checks. Just like a male lion. A male lion, when he has a pride, he patrols the whole perimeter of that territory because he wants to make sure that nothing is going to come in there that's going to jeopardize his family. And that's what a man does. He protects. He educates. He spends time. His children know he loves them. His wife knows he loves them because that's important to him, because that's being a man. It's more than just putting money in people's hands and in their pockets. He understands that respect as a father, respect as a husband is more and can give more to the life and the endurance of his family than out here trying to play little boy games about how many girls you can smash. You know what I'm saying? How many beers you can drink, how many football games you can watch on a Sunday, how much trash talking you can do. See, that's the little boy stuff. Who got the fanciest cars, buying cars you can't afford. You know what I'm saying? You making $30,000 to $40,000 a year, but you want to go out and buy this $60,000 to $70,000 car that you can't even pay to get the maintenance on. You can't even pay to get the repairs on. But yet you want to call yourself a man while your children are sleeping in one bedroom, barely any food, barely paying the bills. That's not a man. Now, let's switch it over. Because we also got to look at the fact that we got little girls in this world. We got women who want to proclaim to be independent women, who want to proclaim themselves to be self-sufficient and real women and want to be treated like queens. Okay, but really, they're just little girls. They're little girls playing a game. See, the thing about women, most women, I'm not going to say all women, but the thing about most women is that most women are not taught how to be a woman. Men are always taught you are to protect, you are to provide. But as they grow up in life, that begins to change as they begin to encounter more relationships, as they begin to establish the fact that maybe there was no father figure to be that example. Well, women have the same thing, but nobody talks about that. Nobody talks about the fact that you have a lot of women who are walking around portraying themselves as women, but really they're little girls because they don't understand that what they need to find in a man. Because most women today are looking for, like I said, most, not all, because you have those few rare diamonds that we often overlook. But I'm talking about the ones that feel like they don't want to get with a man that they can build something with. They want to find somebody that has something ready-made. You have a lot of women who are looking to see if they can go out, watch what another woman has with a man, and they want to go in there and try to take that because they are not woman enough to understand that as a woman, you can do so much more because women have equal intelligence. They got equal morals, equal standards. And as a woman, you should be looking to the fact of how your husband feels when he comes home. You should be trying to make sure that there is food on the table, that your kids are safe, your kids are studying, that your kids are nurtured and loved. You should be having the same responsibilities as the man. But most women don't want that because they're not women, they're little girls. So when a man gets a little girl instead of a woman, he gets a woman that's more concerned about how many hair extensions she can get, how often she can get a manicure, a pedicure. See, the little girl mentality is more concerned about her than she is about the household, than she is about the children or her husband. But see, that's what matters to her. She wants the fancy car. She wants her friends to say that she has a 5-carat or 6-carat diamond on her finger. It doesn't matter that her husband is coming home and there's nothing there. Her kids are coming home and she don't want to really want to spend time with them because she's too busy on the phone yakking with her friends who are doing nothing. See, that's a little girl mentality. The little girl is going to chase the guy thinking that he's going to bring money. I'm chasing money. I'm chasing the car. I'm chasing him because he got the nice house. You chasing something. You chasing a dream built on the fact that you feel that you are owed something from a man. And when you chase that, you drop down from a woman to a little girl. And when you drop to a little girl, then you're missing out on what it is to be a woman. Now, I get it. Some people feel that they have been burned in relationships. They have been burned by other men. They've been burned by other women. So you know what? They drop themselves down intentionally to that little boy or that little girl status because they wanted to feel like, you know what? Since I couldn't get what I wanted when I tried to do it as a woman, I'm going to adopt a little girl mentality. I'm going to go out here and I'm going to start manipulating guys. I'm going to start playing with hearts, playing with emotions. And guys do the same thing. They feel like they've been burned by some women, so they drop down to the little boy mentality. The little boy mentality is, you know what? Since this woman broke my heart, I'm going to get out here and I'm just going to start sleeping with whoever and whatever. And if I get mine and she don't get hers, that's her problem. They want to have friends with benefits. That's little girl and little boy games. And in our society today, we have too many men and women who are little boys and little girls making the decisions for this world, getting in relationships and ruining other people's credit, ruining other people's relationship with their family, ruining other people's relationship with their kids. You got to be careful that when you get into a relationship with somebody that has a little girl or little boy mentality, that you recognize that. Because you might be looking at a woman for her body. Yes, she may be a woman as far as how she is developed and a woman in terms of her age, but she's a little girl. See, little girls will use their body because they think that their body is the answer to everything. They think their body is the way to get by. But that's what is portrayed today. That is how the narrative is pushed. That for a woman, your body. You know, I talked about the movie Cuties with the little girls twerking and dancing. Some people said, I support what you say, and I value everybody's opinion. Some people say, well, you know what? It's just a movie. What's the big deal? The big deal is when you take little 11-year-old girls and give them the idea that their bodies is what gets attention, how sexually they move their bodies, how sensual they move their bodies, then you know what? They start to see that as a tool in order to get and progress in this world. And that is the problem that I have today, because that is what the media is pushing. That is what the mainstream media is pushing. From hip hop music to TV shows to commercials, they're pushing that. Little boy and little girl mentality is what's being pushed in hip hop. Meg Thee Stallion got people thinking that it's cool to get shot. Time magazine made Meg Thee Stallion one of the most influential women. Are you serious right now? That's what we're calling influential. We have to consider the fact of how we are honoring little boys and little girls. How grown people with little boy and little girl mentalities are progressing in this world, and our younger generation is seeing this. And because they're seeing this, they're thinking that this is the way to make it in life. That little boy and little girl mentality is going to do nothing but damage you emotionally and mentally. But this is where we are right now. This is the way that life is being portrayed. This is how success and wealth is being portrayed. That if you want to be successful, if you want to be and have wealth, if you want to be respected, then you have to have a little boy, a little girl mentality. You know, you hear the way some men talk about women on TV shows, on commercials. You hear the way some men talk about, the women that they're with, How they get on Twitter and all these other things and start bad-mouthing them. You hear the way women start getting on social media as well and start bad-mouthing men. This is little girl and little boy mentality. You hear about parents keeping their kids from seeing the other parent. This is little boy, little girl mentality. You hear about parents when they go through a divorce, talking about how, they're telling the other kid that you shouldn't like this person, you shouldn't like your dad, you shouldn't like your mom is this, your dad is that. That's little boy and little girl mentality. When we come back, we're gonna talk about what we can do to adjust what we're seeing as far as this world being ran, by little boys and little girls, and you can start in your very own home. We're gonna talk about that when we come back.
We'll be back with your host, Reggie, on Simply Straight Talk.
Hey, this your man Reggie here. Are you looking for some fresh new music? Are you looking for an artist that's got that positive vibe and that positive flow, that knows how to flow lyrically? Then man, you need to check out Tone G Music with songs like Buzzing, Good Deeds, and Pick Up the Phone. Now these songs are available on Apple Music and other digital platforms. Tone G brings that positive vibe in everything he does. And the music he brings with the reggae style and that smooth lyrical flow, oh, you know what to do. Y'all check out Tone G Music.
We hope you're enjoying the show. As our listeners, this show is made possible because of your support. Make sure you click the subscribe button and leave a comment. Thank you for being a part of the show, and now back to your host, Reggie Maddox.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to the second part of the show. Man, today we talking about too many men and women acting like little boys and little girls. That's who's running the world. We talked about it. We talked about it in our government. We talked about it in corporations. We talked about it in relationships. But how do we get here? How do we get to the point to where we have a bunch of grown people who are really little boys and little girls that are running this world, that are making decisions, that are getting into relationships, out here making babies, breaking people's hearts, and unable to raise their children to teach them how to be an adult? How do we get to the point where we got little boys and little girls in management and leadership positions, in government, in jobs, in positions of authority? Listen, we have a serious problem, and I don't think that people understand the gravity of how it's affecting our society. Because as long as we have these little boys and little girl mentality in our adults, what do you think is going to happen to our children? What do you think is going to happen to the children and your grandkids? We are coming up where right now we have more children, more of our youth who are growing up thinking that the little boy and little girl mentality is adulthood. They're thinking that that's the way adults act. That's the way adults should behave. And I know you heard me say it before, but you see it when you see reality TV shows. Nothing but drama. And a lot of these youth, they watch these shows, like these real housewife shows, some of these, other reality TV shows. Y'all know what I'm talking about. And they start to think that that's how you do it. They watching the Cardi B's and thinking that ignorance and talking stupid and making stupid sounds and being sexual is the way to do it. That's how you get over in life. Oh, if you become a stripper, you good. You know what I'm saying? What happened to adults becoming adults? We should be educating our youth on the fact that what I did to get to where I am, you don't have to. You don't have to take the road that I take. You can take a better road. You don't have to become a stripper. You don't have to be drunk and vulgar and cursing and fighting and loud. You don't have to do that. You don't have to sell drugs. You don't have to get out here and bully and intimidate people. You don't have to have a little boy, a little girl mentality to be an adult, because being an adult means there should be some maturity. But the problem is we're not getting maturity in the adults. We're losing mature adults because even the adults now have resulted back to being little boys and little girls. And that's what we come to. But it's got to change, because we cannot continue to live our lives thinking that this little boy and little girl mentality is what's going to be better for society as a whole. Too many people are going with this mentality. Why you think you got people going to these jobs and don't know how to act? Thinking that they can talk to supervisors and managers any type of way. You know, they're supposed to get a 30-minute or an hour lunch. They're going to take a 2-hour lunch, hour 15-minute lunch. They think they can do whatever they want when they're on the job. You're hired to do a job. A grown man knows that when I go to work, this is what I'm supposed to do the time that I'm here. Because this work that I'm doing is either helping me to fund my dream, to where I can build a better life for my family, I can put food on the table. See, that's how a grown man thinks. But a little boy thinks that he goes to work so he can socialize and entertain his friends, get some laugh. It's 8 hours, 10 hours, or 12 hours of just kicking back and doing nothing. Not thinking of the consequences of what happens if you lose that job. Even if you don't like the job, take the skill set, learn what you can, build your resume, and start making plans to make your next move. That's what a man does. But see, little boys don't think like that, because they go to a job thinking that it's a social party, it's a social get-together, that I'm here to make friends. Then whatever money they get, that money is not used to better the household, it's not used to better themselves. Maybe get more education, maybe put some aside for your kids, maybe do something to help your wife further her education. See, that's not what little boys do, because little boys think it's all about them. But men think that it's about building something better for me, myself, or me and my family. That's what a grown man does. A little boy think it's all about the socializing and all that type stuff. And it's the same thing for a woman. You know, you got little girls who are getting these jobs and they're thinking that they want to play the little helpless role. They want to talk all sweet. Oh, let me bring you a cupcake. Let me do this. Bat their eyelashes and talk to you real sweet, but they don't want to do the work. But yet they want to be promoted. Yet they want to be recognized. Yet they want to be respected. See, this is a little girl mentality. The little girl mentality goes to a job thinking that when I get to work, all I'm going to do is do the bare minimum. You know, if I flirt a little bit, not too much, but if I flirt enough, I can get somebody else to do this or somebody else to do that. I can get away with it. I won't get in trouble. I can come in late. Let me just loosen my top a little bit. Let a little cleavage show. Maybe wear this skirt to show a little leg. See, that's little girl mentality. The little girl goes to work thinking that she's going to meet somebody in the company higher up that's going to be able to pull her up. She's going to try to use her body and flirtation as a way for her to move up, because that's how little girls think. A woman looks at a job as, I'm here to do what I'm supposed to do. I'm going to get this skill set. And if you don't recognize my skill set, I'm going to take everything I learned here and I'm going to go and apply somewhere else because I have a family or I want to better myself. I'll start my own business. See, that's how a woman thinks. Little girls go in there thinking that they're going to meet somebody that's going to rescue them. A woman thinks that she's going in there to get a paycheck to provide for the home and also to build a better life. Even if it means learning what she got to learn to start her own business. See, that's the difference between little boys and men. That's the difference between little girls and women. And too many of us are playing games. I see so many people on social media are always posting stuff. Oh, I'm going to buy a car lot. I'm going to sell cars. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. Little boys and little girls get on social media and post everything that they're going to do. Grown men and grown women don't have to post that stuff because they're too busy doing it. They don't have time to be posting everything they're thinking because their thoughts are action. Whereas little boys and girls, their thoughts are just memes and posts. You need to make sure that you are not acting as the way of a little girl or a little boy. You want to be about your business, be grown. Be a man. Be a woman. Be a man. Get out there. Find that job. Start that business. Provide for your family. Teach your son what it means to work. Teach your son what it means to respect women. Teach your son the understanding, the responsibilities and accountability. Don't wait till they get 18 years old and they get out the house and start having trouble. Then decide that you want to educate your son on what it is to live in this world and how to exist. You need to start teaching your son at a young age. When you're sitting there doing the bills, have your son sit with you. When you're getting ready to go to work in the morning, have your son with you. Talk to your son about why you're going to work, what you do at work. Find out what your son wants to do. Get your son thinking about the path that he needs to go on. You know, women, you need to do the same thing. Don't just sit there and talk to your daughter, you know, about hair weaves, getting your nails and fingernails done, about boys. When you go to work, you do the same thing. Have your daughter understand what it means to go to work. Whether you're a single father, whether you're a single mother, have her understand that. What does it mean for you to spend time with your daughter when you sit down and doing the bills? Let your daughter understand the importance of, okay, my education or hair weave, my education or going out and partying or going out and drinking or buying these fancy clothes or fancy dresses. Teach your daughter the values of what she should look for in a man. Be that example to her. You know, and sometimes people get in relationships and relationships end, especially when you're single. Single fathers and single mothers need to start educating your daughter. Listen, I can't be with this person because of this. This person doesn't understand the value of you having an education in the future. This person doesn't understand family values. Educate your children. Educate yourselves to educate on how to educate your children. This is how we start the process for stopping this little boy and little girl mentality. A lot of us are waiting till our kids get 18 years old, they get out there in the world, then they run it back home because they can't figure crap out. Because as parents, you're not educating them because we're too busy telling them to get out the house. You know, the entire time, this whole COVID-19, they kept talking about how parents were complaining about the kids being home and needing to be at school. That entire time, you should have been educating your child on what life is really about. Let your child have fun. But when you're sitting down and you're conducting business in the house, you can include them gradually on some of that information so they understand, so they know. Don't just take your daughter to get her hair done and let her think that's being a woman. Don't just take your daughter and tell her, oh, you know, it's that time of the month. That time of the month doesn't make you a woman. It identifies the fact that you have female parts, but it doesn't make you a woman. Educate your daughter, women. Ladies, educate your daughters on what it means to be a woman. Every woman should know how to cook. Every boy should know how to, man should know how to cook. Your children should know how to cook. Teach them the values of being a woman, the values of being a man. That's why a lot of kids right now are so confused because they're not learning those values. They're not learning what it means to get out and step out. You can set up a little role play in the house each month. Make it a game with your kids. Hey, we're going to play a game. We're going to make and you buy a bunch of Monopoly money, and every month you just play with them until they get older, then you elevate the game. They think it's a game, but the whole time you're teaching them, you're educating them on spending, saving, bank accounts. Educate your kids. That's how we stop this whole mentality. Because when you're starting to educate, protect, provide, and be a parent, that means you're starting to be an adult. And if you're being an adult, that means you're getting rid of that little boy and little girl mentality. And when you get rid of that and you start displaying adulthood, then your children will start to see that adulthood is not the same as childhood. Get rid of that little boy and little girl mentality, be it on the job, and we really need to get rid of it when it comes to leadership and people making decisions about this country. Hey, we're going to take a break, and I'll be right back with the final thoughts of today's show.
You're listening to Simply Straight Talk.
Hey, we all know that Atlanta, Georgia is a big city, and sometimes you might need just a little bit of help. But you know what? That's why we have Legs Concierge Services. Are you looking for someone to help you with errands, event planning, dog walking, organizing, shopping, or maybe you're in need of a personal assistant? Then you need to contact Legs Concierge Services, operating in Atlanta, Georgia. For more information on these and additional services, contact rarmstrong105@gmail.com. That's rarmstrong105@gmail.com. Remember, time is precious, so let Legs Concierge Services help you enjoy it so much better.
You're listening to the Simply Straight Talk Show, bringing you the best conversation on your morning, afternoon, and primetime drive.
Hey everybody, welcome back. And today I'm going to leave you with this final thought. We need to work together and understand that the little boy and little girl mentality is not going to get you anywhere. And we got to understand that it's important that we start showing our youth, our children, you know what I'm saying, that little boy and little girl mentality is only working when you're a little boy or little girl. At some point, everyone has to grow. For our kids, we need to start educating them that at a certain point that you have to leave that little boy and little girl mentality behind. Because you're growing, you're becoming mature. And I know some people don't want to see their kids grow up. They love seeing their kids at that little innocent age, the age where everything they do is cute. The only problem is when you start getting into the teenage years and when you start getting into preteen, when you start getting into adult age, okay, then when you really are supposed to be at the point where you're a man and woman, that little boy and little girl mentality is no longer cute. Is self-destructive. We have to start educating them on that. And the second part is, as adults, as men and women, we ourselves need to stop reverting back to that little boy and little girl mentality every time we get hurt, every time we get offended, every time something doesn't go our way. You have to maintain the responsibility and accountability of being an adult in life. Whatever hurt you, whoever hurt you, whatever was that setback, you can get past it as long as you stay a man, a woman. But when you go back and when you revert back to being that little girl or that little boy mentality, you're only setting yourself back. You're not going to emotionally heal, spiritually heal, because you're still going to be living in that little boy, little girl mentality, or I'm going to get revenge over something petty. I'm going to spread this rumor. I'm going to badmouth my ex to the children. I'm going to go on this job. It's not about them. It's about me and just being able to socialize and have fun without thinking of the consequences. It's about little boy, little girl mentality in leadership positions making poor decisions because they're not men. They're not women. They're little boys and little girls playing a game, but they don't realize how much of an impact it has on people's lives. All right? So let's do that, okay? We are men and women. Let's start acting like it. Let's start living like it. Let's accept that. We are men and women. We're not little boys and little girls. We are men and women, okay? All right, so we're going to end the show right there. But like I said, man, listen, be a man, be a woman. Get rid of that little boy, little girl mentality that's setting you back, all right? Thank you for checking out the show, and we'll definitely catch you next Friday right here on the Simply Straight Talk Show.
Thanks for listening to the Simply Straight Talk Show with Reggie Maddox. If you like what you just heard, we hope you'll pass along our podcast to your friends and colleagues. And please leave us a positive review on iTunes. Be sure to check out our archive section on iTunes, Spotify, Libsyn, and YouTube. Join us next time for another edition of the Simply Straight Talk Show.